What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I learned a lot about Mr. LeVias and just what he's done for the school, and not only for the school, but just for black people and just being a guy that we can look up to. It meant a lot for me to get the jersey and get the honor to wear it this season and represent him and represent SMU.
What was your reaction when they told you were going to wear number 23 this year?
I just felt it was an honor. I couldn't wait to tell my mom that they trusted me and they were that much proud of me and they believed in me that much to be able to wear his jersey and wear his number and represent this school.
I was talking to Coach Grizz yesterday, and he's called you one of the hardest, if not the hardest, working guys on the team. What is the process from last year to spring to this fall been like to get to where you are and challenging for playing time and all that?
For me, it was just about I'm relentlessly working. No matter whether I seen results quickly or if I didn't see any results, just keep putting in the work, keep putting in the work, keep putting in the work, and I knew, eventually it'll pay off and it'll start showing. So throughout the whole entire off season, I knew I was hungrier than I've ever been in my entire life, and I just wanted to continue to work as hard as I could to just help this team and be the best player that I could be.
Could you take us into this hunger, because you're interesting because you played a lot as a true freshman, last year injuries and stuff like that. Now you come back hungry. Can you kind of just take us through the journey and how hungry you are?
Yeah, like you said, coming in as a freshman, I started off high. I had a really good freshman season, sophomore season, had some injuries, setback, and it kind of, not gonna lie, kind of took me to a place, a dark place. It was, I was in a way I was kind of just down on myself, but I knew that, if I worked hard and I just trusted God, that everything would work out how it's supposed to work out.
Coach Lashley described what you went through the last couple of years. He said a lot of guys might have quit or transferred. Did you ever consider that?
For me, it was just about trusting in myself and believing in myself. I knew there were times where nobody was going to save me. I had to put in the work myself. I knew I didn't want to quit. I didn't want to leave. I love the city of Dallas. I love my teammates here to death, and I knew I didn't want to leave. I knew I wanted to put in the work, and I wanted to win beside these guys. I didn't want to go nowhere else. I wanted to be here and win with these guys. I wanted to help them win. So it was just about believing in myself, even if nobody else did, just believing in myself and putting in the work and knowing that one day it'll pay off. And I know I had God on my side the whole time, so I knew it would work out as long as I just put in the work.
You were one of the cornerstone Dallas guys that has kind of built that Dallas pipeline to SMU. Now that you guys have added guys like Jordan, Kyron, AJ, plenty of others, what's that like to have that kind of Dallas group that's on this roster?
It just means a lot because, throughout this whole process, I've been back at Skyline working out every weekend. So I see a lot of the young guys come out there, work out with my trainer, and I see how much they look up to me and other guys that are from the city of Dallas, and they want to come to SMU. They want to be a part of this thing that we're building here in Dallas. So it just means the world for me to go back to my neighborhood, and kids tell me, man, Zach, I can't wait to see you play, man. It just asks me questions about how do I get there, how can I do this. It means the world to me to know that those guys are looking up to me, because I remember when I was in those shoes just a few years ago, and I thought the world of these guys at SMU. I remember guys like Rodney Clemens. I remember Coach Natty told me, that's going to be you in a couple of years, and here enough, I'm wearing the same number he was wearing. So, it just means a lot, man.
I appreciate you saying that you went to a dark place and you kind of bounced out, because we're human. We've all gone to dark places, and for me, it's always made me stronger to go from dark to that.
Yeah.
I guess how much confidence do you get from going through the dark phase, working hard, and kind of seeing benefits like this?
I said a lot, believing in myself, but mainly it was God, man. Being in that place, it was hard for me, and I knew there was nowhere else I could turn to but Him, and just focusing on Him just helped me just kind of lock in mentally and physically, and just doing whatever I had to do, understanding that everything will work out as long as I put in the work and I trusted Him.
You've had multiple interceptions this fall. Coach Lashley said you're one of the most impressive, improved players this fall. I guess how confident have you been this fall?
Super confident. I remember just yesterday, my first day in 23, I caught 2 picks. It's just about confidence is big. It's a real big thing. So, but it comes from preparation, and I know for a fact there's nobody that worked harder than me this offseason. So I'm confident in my game because I know how hard I worked. I know I put the time and effort in. So I knew it would pay off, and I know it's going to pay off as long as I continue to keep my head down and just keep working.
You mentioned calling your mom about 23. What was her reaction, and how big of a motivator was she?
Man, anybody that knows her knows that she has the biggest smile on earth, and she'll brighten up anybody's day. So when I told her that I got the honor to wear his number, and I explained to her who he was and what he meant for SMU, she was so happy for me. And she's always been proud of me, but she was that much more proud of me when I called her and told her that.
I think Coach Simons yesterday said you kind of came up to him at one point this offseason, said whatever I've got to do to help the team. What goes into a decision like that when you said you work hard, you're ready, but you're willing to maybe take a step back and play a backup role, play special teams, multiple special teams? Just kind of what kind of went into that, and how important is that to you?
Like I mentioned earlier, I wanted to be here, man. I wanted to play with these guys on this team. These are my brothers, man. I love these guys. I want to play beside these guys, and I want to help them win any way I can. So I took an emphasis on, you know, being a big-time special teams guy, and I knew getting my role in defense play itself out because I knew I was going to make plays. I got the confidence. I worked hard, and so I knew what I'll take every step. So I told him, and I meant that. I said, whatever I got to do, you know, help this team win, I'm going to do. And so that's what that conversation was all about.
What's the safety room like now that you guys have added Jonathan, added Kyron? CJ was here in the spring. What's that group like on the competition with it?
We got depth. We got tremendous depth at that position, you know, and we're all competing every single day. I remember, like, every day in practice, coach says, man, when you guys are out there, you know, it's 100% effort every single play. And if guys get tired, you don't have to ask me. You got to roll yourselves in because we got depth and he believes in all of us. And we're all competing so much that he know any one of us can step in that role and there's going to be no drop off. So just the competition in that room is crazy right now because we got guys that can ball, like real ballers in the room, like no doubt.
What's that competition like when obviously you're competing for playing time, but you're also not necessarily competing against each other. You're competing to kind of make each other better.
That's what makes this team different, man. Because everybody, you know, if you've heard the buzz around SMU, you know that we've got some depth, right? But it's not jealousy. It's not, oh man, I'm fighting this guy's position. It's, man, I'm gonna teach you everything. Like when Kyron got here, we're both at Rover. I taught him everything I knew at the position because I knew he's gonna help this team win one day. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's first game of the season, second one, it doesn't matter. He's gonna help us win. So it's all about, you know, us being together as a brotherhood. We compete, we're making each other better. But at the same time, there's no jealousy, there's no envy, none of that. We all know that we all have a role we have to step into, and we're all gonna help this team win. We're all gonna play. So it's just about, you know, that brotherhood.
You talked about working out at Skyline all summer. Correct me if I'm wrong, you kind of look a little bit more like cut, lean. Is that true?
I definitely gotten in the tone down, cut a little weight, but I've toned up a little bit at the same time. So I feel like I'm moving better. I feel like I'm healthy right now. So as long as I just continue to be a pro, stay on top of my things like recovery and eating habits and things like that, I feel like I'll be ready for the season for sure.
And what were the workouts at Skyline like? You know, what were you doing?
I had a trainer I've been working out with when I first moved to defensive back. My sophomore year, he was a guy. He actually trained me when I played quarterback too. So I moved. He was training at quarterback. That moved DB. He was training at DB. And he's a guy. He lives like an hour away, but he drives all the way out here almost every weekend just to work with us. And not only work with me, but work with the high school kids too. You know, guys, not just guys that are already, you know, established in college, but guys that no one knows their name. He's one of those guys that just really cares about the kids, and so he makes that job. I work out with him. We do DB stuff, you know, footwork, conditioning, all that kind of stuff. Just one-on-one working to help me out a lot.
Coach Lashley mentioned that he called you one of the best special teams players on the team, and you played on a lot of different teams. Do you get the same kind of gratification or satisfaction from making plays on special teams that you do on defense?
No doubt at all, I do, because I know my goal is to make it to the league, and I know to make it to the league, I have to, you know, be valuable on special teams, and not just valuable on special teams, but be a leader on special teams as well, and keep bring up the other guys around me, and so but we all understand how important special teams are. Like, the game of field position is crazy because I know last year we went the best teams on special teams, so I've taken it upon myself to take it serious this year. I want to show NFL guys and the coaches that I'm here to be a leader and to work hard in whatever role you put me in.
I think with injuries, you know, a lot of people can see a cast or, you know, crutches or certain things like that and the big injuries, but kind of go through how tough a nagging kind of injury is where you just never really feel healthy, and then the difference when you finally do feel healthy.
That's crazy because I remember there were times where I wish, man, I hated it being nagging so much. I hate to say this, but I wish it was just like an injury that way, you know, I can heal from it and just be done with it. But nagging injuries, they never really go away. So like I talked about just being a pro earlier, make sure I stay on top of the little things that help me feel good, like the chiropractic work I get done, the massages, all the treatment I do in the training room, just being a pro, coming in an hour early just to make sure I roll out to do the little things that'll help me out. So yeah, I hate them, but, you know, I know as long as I be a pro, I'll be fine.